Our first speaker this afternoon is a social advocate, environmentalist, Reforest Campaigner, mental health activist, and slam poet. Holley Somerville Knott is the founder and CEO of a social enterprise and advocacy business called Tell Someone Who Cares, a consumer movement that gives customers the opportunity to create change with their everyday purchases. Most recently, she was named the youngest ever finalist for Telstra Business Women's Awards. She was a finalist for Young Australian of the Year. And did I mention she's only 16? So it's safe to say she's a huge overachiever. And I just found out she negotiated herself down to a 3-day school week. So we're pretty lucky. That's lucky for us because we've managed to get her here on a Monday afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, to kick off Saxton Live, please welcome Holley Somerville Knott.
The butler clean the cutleries. Never find me sleeping in the money trees. Never buy a trip and trying to find the scene.
Hello and welcome to Saxton Live, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. It's so nice to see you all, and please enjoy the show. Tonight, I'm here to talk to you about myself and what led me to start a charity and later my own company. So as you heard, I'm the CEO and founder of Tell Someone Who Cares, which is a company I created when I was around 12. It's a consumer movement that gives people the chance to create change with their everyday purchases. How it works is, I develop the sustainable and ethical products, you buy them, and together we change the world. I want to smash stereotypes, change the world, and inspire others to become entrepreneurs, leaders, and kick-ass business people. And I want to do business in a way that fits within our planet's boundaries and creates change for the planet and future generations. My journey started when I was about 3, which is when I got a diagnosis of autism, and so did my sister. And we also had a range of other health problems, which was really hard to live with, and my mum had to make a lot of changes. But it was during this time that we received a lot of help and support from many different people and organizations, and it was through that experience that I learned that people are kind and people can change your life. And I wanted to be one of those people. So I decided to dedicate my life to giving back and to making the world a better place, because those people made my world a better place. Soon after, I started finding out about issues like homelessness and poverty, and I couldn't believe that there were some people without food, water, and shelter. And I was shocked, but I decided I wanted to do something about it. So this is when I was around 8 years old, and I decided to use my passion for singing to start busking on the streets and raise money to donate to the planet, the people, and animals in need. And that's when I created my charity, the Stardust Foundation. I made my first ever donation to the Byron Salvation Army homeless shelter, and I actually got to meet the people using the service, and I remember feeling so happy that I'd helped make someone else's life a little bit better. I then went on to raise awareness and thousands of dollars, which I donated to many different charities and organizations, and I got to travel around Australia and started advocating for all kinds of social and environmental causes. And one day I was asked to speak at a documentary premiere for Rise of the Eco-Warriors, which was all about the destruction of the Borneo rainforests caused by palm oil. Orangutans are being injured and killed, and other incredible species found nowhere else in the world are becoming extinct, lost forever, and the local people's lives are being ruined. Not to mention the massive effect that amount of deforestation has on climate change. Overall, 80% of orangutan habitat, 3.5 million hectares of rainforest has been destroyed. And I was horrified when I saw this absolute devastation. But I also felt motivated to do something about it. I didn't want to be somebody who just watched the documentary, felt bad about it in the moment, and then kind of just went back to my life, forgot about it, and didn't really do anything about it. I really wanted to get involved and take action. And this was a major turning point for me. And so it was around this time that I had started to become interested in business, and I decided to create my own range of palm oil-free products, with an amazing alternative that was mentioned in the documentary, a solution from the jungle called Rainforest illipe nut butter, which is also a high-quality vegetable oil that can be used for all the same things as palm oil. But the good news is, it's being sustainably produced and creates an alternative economy for the local indigenous communities. So instead of telling people not to use something and leave them wondering what to do instead, I prefer giving people a solution. It was pretty challenging to start my business as a teen. It was funny sometimes because people didn't know which was weirder, the name of my business or the fact that I was 12 at the time. I would call up manufacturers and say, "Hi, can you tell me your minimum order quantity, please?" 10,000 units? Great, thanks, I'll call back later. Or, "Hi, can you please tell me if you'd be willing to make products without chemicals or palm oil? And would you be willing to use my palm oil substitute? Which, by the way, comes from Borneo." And they would be like, "I'm sorry, how old are you? Your business is called what?" And gaining finance and investment wasn't exactly easy either. No one really wanted to invest in a 12-year-old with a big idea. But since then, I've completed hundreds of hours of research and reading, trial and error, networking, and asking questions. I've been incredibly lucky with the help and support I've received from many amazing people and mentors like Lane Beachley and Kylie Green. I've completed several different business courses. And eventually, Tell Someone Who Cares went on to win international gold and silver Business Stevie Awards in New York and Vienna, was a finalist in the Telstra Women's Business Awards and the Young Australian of the Year Awards, and also was a finalist in the Optus Business Awards and won the New South Wales Chamber of Commerce Startup Superstar. And what I've learned is, thank you. And what I've learned is that we need business done differently. And what I mean by that is, I believe business can be one of the biggest contributors to the global social and environmental problems we currently face. But it can also be one of the biggest tools in creating positive impact and solving those issues. And I believe that all chief executive officers should also be chief ethics officers and focus on making ethical decisions on behalf of the business as well as just strategic ones. And I think we need to focus more on closing the gap on gender pay and investment and continue to create a culture of transparency, inclusiveness, and compassion. Women are starting businesses at 1.5 times the pace of men, yet only 4% of venture capital goes to women-led ventures. For generations, over 50% of the population has been underfunded, under-resourced, and under-supported. But women are passionate, powerful badasses, and we need women to change the world. Thank you. To quote Emma Isaacs, "We can't succeed while half of us are held back." But anyways, after running the business for a few years, it became clear that it was time to expand the vision and the amount of impact my business was having in the world. So I've created 2 new product lines, which are ethical chocolates and sustainable shampoo bars. Shampoo bars are really exciting because each one saves 2 to 3 plastic bottles from going into landfill or the ocean, and the ethical chocolates come in some amazing flavor combinations. And the idea for the business model is that every different product will be linked to a charity partner. So a percentage of every purchase will go towards that charity every time you make a purchase. If people are going to buy shampoo and chocolate, then I think they might as well buy ones that do some good in the world. This ethical and sustainable platform gives everyone the chance to join the movement and be part of the solution. And as a young entrepreneur, I'm also representing the voice of youth here today, and how we are not only capable of creating change, we are crucial in creating change. After all, the world is not on remote. You have to get up and change it yourself. And I believe you can never be too young to make a start. Thank you. Before I go, I have a slam poem to perform for you all tonight called Resilience. And, one second, there we go. And I know that this is a really hard time, a devastating time for all of us right now, and sometimes for all of us right now as a nation. And sometimes we have to find resilience in places we never thought we could. So I hope that this poem basically is about what resilience means to me. And I hope that the people of Australia and anyone who needs it can find inspiration in it. Times in your life will always be difficult, but the purpose of those obstacles is to make you stronger so that in this crazy game called life, you can last longer. Look at the world with eyes unclouded by hatred. Mahatma Gandhi once stated that first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. So don't let life's challenges bring you down. Never give up and never give in. Because if you think positive and always look on the side that is bright, even in the darkest of situations, you can find the light. In life, it's wrong to always be right, and you've got a right to be wrong sometimes. After all, practice makes progress, because nobody's perfect, to be perfectly honest. Although, in saying so, you can always improve. Challenge yourself. Do the things nobody else is brave enough to do. Those who try, even though they may not succeed, create the possibility to exceed, a boxed-in perception of reality. Some people think that beyond failure, there are no possibilities. I would disagree. Sometimes if you want to succeed, you have to fail first. To grow as a person, you must learn from your failures. And if you change your perspective, it can be most effective and can even be reconnective to yourself. Rock bottom can be a solid foundation to rebuild yourself and even find inspiration to start a new journey and find that you're learning about life and about yourself from a different perspective. The choices you make are up to you. Don't let anyone else influence what you want to do. And don't be afraid to be really different, because what other people think is insignificant. You are brilliant, so be resilient. Look at life as a challenge meant to make you stronger, and you just might last a little longer. Thank you.